Welcome to our new podcast, Holy Banter.
Holy Banter is a podcast, a fun opportunity for us to start a conversation as well as inform you about opportunities that are going to be happening in our parish community.
One of the things we'd like to highlight is your testimony about things that God has done in your life as well. So if you're interested in joining us for an interview, please reach out.
Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. I'm Christina Steele.
And I'm Annie Sweeney.
And we are your co-hosts for our podcast, Holy Banter.
And this morning, we get the privilege of speaking to a very busy, longtime parishioner and friend, Laura Graefnitz.
Mm-hmm.
She is going to talk to us about the very upcoming, just right around the corner, Vacation Bible School. She's worked very, very hard with some other volunteers. She also runs and conducts SoulCore. Yep. So want to hear about that.
Yep.
Also want to hear just about her personal life and how she juggles all of the things that she does and 6 kids.
Yeah, it'll be a very good interview. So we look forward to bringing it to you now.
For sure.
As it should be. Happy belated Mother's Day, by the way.
Thank you. You guys too.
What did you do yesterday?
Let's see. We went to Mass in the morning, and then we went to my parents in the afternoon, and then in the middle, Brian had kids he was like taskmaster. He's like, we're doing all these jobs for your mother. So they got the yard work done, and they got my workout room all nice and cleaned up, which is always awesome.
You have a workout room in your house?
So the workout room is in the basement, but the workout room turns into also like the dumping ground for all things that need to be stored that haven't gotten moved to storage yet. And so it had gotten that we had Christmas tree, we had Easter baskets, all this. So my workout room kept getting small, and it's like my sanctuary. And so gives me anxiety, when I go down there. And so Brian was like, I'm going to get it all nice and clean for Mother's Day.
That's nice.
So I went down there this morning. I'm like, oh. So
that's a good feeling.
Yeah, it was great.
Fantastic feeling. So do we know why there is this kind of this connection between planting flowers and yard work with Mother's Day? Do we have to plant flowers?
I don't know. My mother-in-law always said that was the time that you it was
after Mother's Day.
Okay. Yeah, Mother's Day was the first time. If you did it, you shouldn't have any frost. So let's hope we don't have any snow or something the next week, because
it is Indiana. Yeah. So do you think that you're well rested from yesterday and ready to kind of tackle the rest of the month?
Sure. I don't know that well rested is ever really something that I am, although I try very hard. I tell everybody they need to be well rested. So I don't know that I'm well rested. But
you seem to have unlimited energy.
Yeah. And that's that's what I tell people. I run on water, not on coffee, but you just go, you just do it, you don't really have a choice.
Is that just kind of who you are, or is there a source you pull from?
I mean, a guy certainly helps, Mary certainly is my come on, help me out today. Or, my mumbling under the breath of not so nice words. So I've always kind of been, it's just always kind of been my personality, I think. Energized. And, my husband likes to call me aggressive instead of passive aggressive.
Okay.
I'm aggressive.
Okay.
People usually describe me as very intense, which I think I am. I don't think I'm a mean aggressive. I just am kind of an intense person.
You just say it like it is, and
you like me or you don't like me. And
You cut through it and to it.
Yeah, it's just not worth it, right?
Just get it done.
Yeah, I like the truth, and that's always been kind of my thing. I'm horrible at lying. I don't lie, and if I did, you'd know exactly, right then that I was lying. I've been that way since I was little, and yeah, I'm just a no BS kind of person. I want to tell it like it is so that we can get to I'm not good at small talk. I'm not either. I don't want to talk about the weather.
So glad to hear this, because I've always thought it was kind of my own, it's my problem. I don't do very well with chit chat. Chit chat's cool as you're kind of waving goodbye, I guess, but the meat, the heart of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So do you think that, so you're a Zionsville resident?
I am.
Born and raised.
Yeah.
Grew up in the parish.
And your parents, you think a lot of probably so much of who you are comes from your upbringing.
100%.
Are you one of many siblings?
One of 8. Yeah, I'm the oldest. My older brother, and then me. So I really always tell people I'm really the oldest, because the boys don't count, especially my brother. He's still a teenager. So Yeah, so I'm the oldest daughter, and then there are 5 girls and 3 boys. My dad has a shirt that says like I survived 5 teenage daughters or something. So you can do anything. So yeah, there's lots of us.
Fantastic.
So did your parents grow up here in this parish?
No, my dad went to St. Matthew's in Indianapolis, and my mom actually did not grow up Catholic. She converted when she right before my parents got married, not because of my dad necessarily. My dad said he would not marry her when she was a teenager. So they got her birthday. It's August 16th. She turned 20 on August 16th, and they got married August 21st.
Wow.
Yeah. And so they were very young when they got
married. Did
they
marry at St. Matthew's?
Yes. Yeah.
And they've been married how long now? Roughly.
St. Michael's 43 years. Maybe.
Okay. They're on their way to 50.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
And then you met Brian in high school?
So I actually met Brian when we were little. We played soccer. We have a picture of us.
So
playing
Brian's your
soccer.
husband.
Brian's my husband. Yeah, we met each other when I was probably 5 and he was 6. We have a picture of us playing.
How adorable.
So we know
Do you
each
guys
other.
remember that? There's no way.
I mean, he does. He has the best memory. He remembers everything. And I
seem to have a really good memory.
He'll tell me things. I'm like, are you sure I did that? Okay. Yeah. And no, I don't really remember. Yeah. So and then we didn't start dating until later. He chased me for years. And
He did? Well, you think it was your honesty?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys have such balance.
We are.
He's so chill.
He's so chill.
And you guys have such
Oh,
great
that's so great.
chemistry.
Yeah, we do balance each other out very well. He reels me in a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, and you guys have 6 kids.
We have 6 kids, 6 wonderful kids. Yep. Emerson, Eliza's the oldest, 16. Her birthday's today. She's 16. Driving and
really
is going to kindergarten.
Youngest is 6. No, she in kindergarten right now. Yeah.
That must have been kind of an exciting moment.
Quite a transition for me.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laura. She is a little mini you.
She is.
Right?
She is mini me. She doesn't have the curly hair, and they're all going to be way taller than me because Brian's so tall, but she is a spitfire.
Really? Yeah. Do you like that? Does that work with you? Like, do you know how to kind of handle that?
I mean, certain times we kind of butt heads, but she's a super fun kid and she's hilarious, so that helps. But funny enough, Eliza is into singing, dancing, theater, amazing singer. Like she literally was born to be on the stage, like just how she is, which is not me. Like I'm comfortable talking in front of people, but I do not want to be in the limelight. Like I'm better in the background. Emerson, on the other hand, is into sports, which is great because when Eliza was little, I played soccer in college. And so soccer was like my thing growing up. And I'm like, okay, well, my kids are going to play soccer and they're going to be sporty and all this like me. And we would drive by soccer fields and Eliza would literally be like, I hate soccer, because she knew that I was like, come on, we're going to play soccer. So she would say it. And poor kid, we tried everything. She played soccer, volleyball, basketball, like all the sports, like one season each of them. And I was like, no, not doing that. Now Emerson all the boys play sports, but Emerson is going to be a little.
So where'd you go to college?
Purdue.
That's so cool. You played soccer there.
Yeah.
That is
cool.
cool.
My coach actually works at ZYSA now, and he coaches Jackson, which is so weird. So it's a small world.
Oh, and then talk about your business and how you got into that.
That's okay. So Lifetime Wellness is my business. I'm a health coach, board certified. I don't know. What's my technical title? Let's see. Board certified functional medicine health coach.
That's great.
And I started it, kind of long story. When Emerson was born, I had some complications with her delivery. She was my 6th C-section. And so because of complications, I ended up having to have an emergency hysterectomy. And that kind of throws you into crisis of faith, crisis of like, what am I here for? For 10 years, at that point, 10 years, it's like I popped out baby. My brother calls me baby factory. Like I pop out babies and I was a mom, and that's like all I knew. And so before I had kids, I was a teacher, and I knew I never really wanted to go back into the classroom. Like I love teaching kids, but it was just like, I didn't feel like I could give 100% to that and 100% to my family, which I think it's amazing when teachers can do that. But so I was like, I needed to do something. And so I really love fitness and health and all things that. And I, really loved functional medicine and had a great functional medicine doctor that was like, you really should try this. Like you should try this health coaching thing. And my mom really encouraged me to look into it. And so it's kind of like, well, I'm going to go to the classes. It was a year-long certification process. I'm like, I'm going to go do that and just kind of, see what happens. And I graduated and got my certification, and I just had people like calling, knocking on my door, like, hey, can I work with you? Can I work with you? So I was like, okay, I guess I'm going to start my own business because it worked out.
What year was that?
So that was in 2019.
Wow, not that long ago.
Yeah, not that long ago. And so then I just kind of started working with people, and the business grew. And now I do some consulting with some clinics, some functional medicine clinics, and it's a perfect, like, it's not an on the side thing, but it's not necessarily like a full-time thing. It's awesome because I kind of get to do my own thing and
Heck yeah.
people. I love it.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you have people working under you then?
No, it's just me.
It's just you.
Yeah, just me. I kind of do the, the business stuff is not my favorite, but I kind of do that. And then the coaching stuff is, I do that all day, every day if I could. So.
Good. And is this where SoulCore came in? Or is this like a...
So funny enough, SoulCore, like I said, I've always really liked health and fitness. My mom and I actually went on a pilgrimage to Italy 2 springs ago, and I think it was 2 springs ago. And we went with Father Click, who is amazing to pilgrimage with. And during that, there was a gal that did SoulCore for us on our trip. So like every morning we would do SoulCore.
Explain what SoulCore is.
So SoulCore is, people want to call it Catholic yoga, even though we don't call it Catholic yoga at all, because yoga is not something that we want to get into. So it's really movement with the rosary. I like to say functional movements with the rosary. And it's really cool because it kind of connects all the mind, body, everything. You get to exercise while you're praying and all that. Lots of different moves that we use with it, but it's not like a crazy intense workout.
Yeah.
I say it's a little bit calmer.
Like stretching.
Yep. And you breathe through it. You do
yeah.
core exercises, we do push-ups and planks and, squats and different things like that. But yeah, so a gal did it during that. And I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I love this. And she's like, you should go get certified. And so there we go.
Let's
Somebody suggests something. I'm like, yeah, all right, I'll do that too. Because as my husband tries to remind me, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And I'm like, it's great, So yeah,
it's an intense training.
It is. You do, and the creators of it. Yeah, the creators of it live in Carmel, and so we do this like Zoom class, and then you have to put on a class for them, which is a little intense, and
to make sure that you understand,
make sure we know what we're doing.
Okay. And you hold it here once a month.
Once a month. Yep.
Yeah. And where do you hold it?
Over in Whitesell Hall, typically the second Saturday of the month at 7:30. People are like, oh my gosh, that's early. But we
need a carpe diem, folks.
Right. Well, and I love this because people are like, oh my gosh, that's so early. But like, listen, when else are we going to do it? We've got kids stuff and like there's something interfering. So I say, if you can't make time for God at 7:30 in the morning, once a month.
I just read a quote from Mother Teresa that really hit me. It was, if you're too busy to pray, then you're too busy.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jesus, for Saint Mother Teresa. She breaks it down into basics.
Yeah.
Do you do SoulCore anywhere else, or is it just here?
So I've done it on retreats before. Like we did a girls' teenage retreat in January and did it with the teenagers there, which is super fun and super powerful because none of them had done it before. And they're like, what is this? And you get in this room and it's super fun. So I'll do it at retreats. And
Parish has hosted. They have other women that are trained. So you can do it at some of the other parishes, but we got it here once.
Yeah.
Which it'd be fun to do it more. But
I know. I agree. And that's what people are like, can we do it more? And I love to figure out a way to do it more. It's just a matter of getting people and
my goodness, Laura, how much more, could you seriously? So, and I want to talk about Vacation Bible School, but like right now in this pocket in your life, do you have literally any free time that you can give in any different way, whether it's to yourself or your children or something that is passionate to you?
So I am a firm believer in keeping time for yourself. Like you have to as a mom, because if you don't, like you can't, I mean, there's the whole sayings out there, like you can't pour from an empty cup and all that kind of stuff. And I truly believe that. Now that doesn't mean that there's always time every week to have for myself. But like Brian and I try to do a date night once a week.
Do you really?
Try. Yes.
And what does that look like for you?
So, I mean, it really varies. Like sometimes it is literally like we'll put the kids down to bed. Our kids are kind of split. Like we've got the teenagers and the younger kids. So we can put the younger kids down. We've like hit the jackpot now that the kids are old enough that we can just be like, see ya. Because it wasn't like that a few years ago. It was trying to find babysitters. So it was a little bit rougher a few years ago. So sometimes we'll go out to dinner and it'll be just simple, like go out to dinner. Sometimes we literally won't leave. We'll like go for a walk, which is one of our favorite things to do. Just
nice.
Go for a walk. Sometimes they're a little bit more complex. Like we've done rock climbing and zip lining and, some crazy.
Well, I think that's great because I just think so many people don't take the time for that. And it's so critical for your relationship. Yeah.
Guilty.
Well, and it's hard if you don't have babysitting. Babysitters are so expensive.
Right.
You're blessed. I'm blessed with a family in that area. But if you ever need to watch Cecilia.
Thank you. we have a good community. We have good babysitters and we have good community. I think we've got a lot of good friends. So it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's just the initial do it.
Well, and making it a priority, because I think that's all. I mean, and I'm avid about working out, and I typically wake up before my kids wake up in the morning.
What time is that?
Usually 6 a.m. is
Okay.
when I'm doing a workout.
Okay.
And I love it. I mean, I used to never be a morning person. Like, ask my mom. Like, I was a teenager that wanted to sleep till noon. Like, that was my thing. But I learned it's better for me and better for everybody else if I get a good workout in, because I'm not a crazy person. Oh, well, I'm still a crazy person, just not as crazy.
It's tempered.
But yeah, so it's like, it's a priority for me. And could I easily say, no, I'm too tired this morning?
Sure.
Or, whatever. Yeah, I absolutely be like, no. But
so
it's a priority.
when besides your 6 a.m. wake up and workout, like when and where is your respite for Laura? Like, when is that time that you encourage others to make?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it kind of varies. It's not going to be the same every day. It's not like I'm like, oh, at 2:00 I get, a half an hour or something, but I try to do mini breaks, whether that's like mini prayer time, or my rosary is a big one. And so I'll do that. Again, that's kind of my like way to finish my night. And so the kids will be in bed, at least the little guys. And my big kids know, like, if I'm in doing my rosary in my bed, they're absolutely welcome. Like, Gavin did the rosary with me all through Lent. Like, that was
sweet.
Nice. So I'm like, yeah, come on in. But I want to see them. I want them to see me doing things like that, doing prayer. And Brian's the same way. Like, he's very involved in the youth group and everything. And we want them to see. So, I mean, sometimes it's the prayer. Sometimes it's the workout. Sometimes it's the middle of the day. I'll go for a 10-minute walk outside and just do a quick walk. And I don't think it has to be like this big planned thing. No, then there are times that are planned. My mom, a couple days last week, was like, hey, I need an hour of your time next week. I'm like, okay, what's this for?
What's happening?
You're going to give me more information?
Are you paying me?
Yeah. She's taking me for a massage.
Okay. Sorry. I will. Yes, mother.
I'll make time for that. So then there's things like that where it's a little bit more, intentional, and a longer thing that's like, oh, that's just for me. And that's awesome.
So I'm kind of hearing like we overthink it a little bit.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like we overthink how hard we have to work out. We overthink the little breaks. We don't need a weekend getaway all the time. Right? And then so when it comes to diet and how that also
how much time do you have? No.
and how that also affects your mental energy. What do you coach gals and people?
Yeah. So that's a great question, but I seriously could talk about diet for hours, probably. Brian could tell you that. Brian says he's the second best health coach in the world because he hears everything I tell. Right? So he's like, I know what you're going to tell them. I know what you're. No, I think diet is huge. And I think it is so underrated how powerful a good diet can be. And again, like, it does not have to be this complex, crazy thing. I think it really matters. One, it matters what your goals are. If you are somebody that just feels crappy and you're super inflamed and you're tired all the time, then it's one thing. If you're somebody that's trying to lose weight, then it's another. At the heart of it, it really has to come down to the basics: like clean eating, less processed food, like get the junk out of there as much as possible, lots of protein, lots of good veggies and fruit.
Well, and like Laura and I worked together a couple of years ago because I struggle with reflux. And one of the things, and I still kind of have to go back and forth of what triggers, but I really do realize the more processed the food, the more I'm triggered. So it's very interesting how, I don't know if it's like an allergy or just your body's just had enough
inflammation. I mean, and I tell people, like, inflammation is at the root of all disease. And so if you can get rid of inflammation in your body, then you can get rid of the disease in your body, whether that is cancers, which there are a lot of cancers, whether it's high blood pressure, high cholesterol,
There's a gentleman here who got diagnosed. I don't remember what kind of cancer it is. I think it was pancreatic.
Okay.
And he's a doctor, so he was researching. He's old enough. He doesn't want to do treatment. He literally cut all sugar out of his diet, and all his cancer numbers went down.
Yeah, because cancer feeds on sugar.
It's amazing.
That's amazing.
Which, I mean, just cutting out sugar, that would be just really hard to do.
It's very hard to do.
Everything.
Yes. And that's the other thing. It is hard. It's not in our day and age. Like, we are very much a food society. Everything is around food. Hey, you want to go grab some lunch? Hey, you want to go get coffee?
But it's always in a hurry.
It's always in a hurry. Yeah. And it's always like, oh, we're celebrating. And so since we're celebrating, Mother's Day, we're celebrating, spoil yourself and have all this junk. And again, that's fine every once in a while, like that's an every once in a while kind of thing. The majority of the time, it really should be good, healthy eating that's going to fuel your body. What do you want to fuel your body? You want good, great things that are going to fuel you and make you feel good, not
Do you eat dessert?
I do. I wouldn't say very often. However, I will say I do have dark chocolate every single day.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Like a little piece.
Little piece, usually before bed. I'm like, this is my thing. And then like yesterday was Mother's Day, and Eliza made these like delicious little lemon bites, and I had a couple of those. And so I will eat. I mean, I'm not absolutely perfect with my diet, but again, if I have certain goals that I'm trying to achieve, then I might be a little bit more strict
So
at times.
how do you reduce inflammation in your body?
Me or in general?
Just in general, like what are
Yeah.
kind of things people can eliminate?
That's a
to
great
help reduce
question. So definitely sugars. Sugar is an inflammatory. Gluten, all the stuff that people want to eat probably are you should eliminate. Yeah, sugar,
Chips.
gluten, and then it's different for people. Dairy can be very inflammatory. Corn can be very inflammatory. Certain processed meats can be that way. Lunch meat, that kind of stuff. I typically tell people, like I think with you, we ran you through an elimination diet, which is not an easy thing to do. But you take all this stuff out of your diet. You do that for 30 days, and then you slowly add it back in.
Basically for 30 days.
And then you can see what your body reacts to. So, if you aren't, a lot of people don't realize the problems they have.
Dairy was a huge trigger for me.
Right.
Like I had to eliminate all dairy.
And then when you were eventually, but I mean, it was, I think you talked to me maybe like 18 months after we were done and said, I finally was able to have some dairy or something, and it was fine.
As long as it's in moderation.
Yeah. And that's typically what I'll tell people is like, our goal is to get your body healthy. And if you are healthy, fully healthy, then you should be able to eat these things in moderation and it not really bug you. But if your system's not healthy, your gut's not healthy, you have a little bit of milk or something, and it's just going to tick your body off and inflame you. Caffeine, I was looking at your coffee. Caffeine's a big one.
I go in and out of my drinking caffeine.
Yeah, and it's one of those that people are like, oh, but that's how I get my energy for the day. Like I wouldn't be able to move in the morning if I didn't have it. And it's what we think a lot. But I tell you, literally every client that I have that gives up caffeine is like, oh my gosh, I had no idea like how tired I was and how much better I feel now that I've given it up.
Well, I love my coffee with Jesus. It's my thing. However, I did read a long time ago that caffeine takes our stored energy, takes ours, is like steals it and uses it. So that's why later in the day, there's normally like a crash or what have you, because it's robbed us of our energy. But then I just closed the book on that and went and poured a couple of coffee with it.
Yeah, whatever.
What's your language and discussion around alcohol?
Yeah. So I think alcohol, again, it's one of those, what are your goals? Like, what are you hoping to achieve in life, or, short term, long term? Alcohol is one of those that can be a fine thing sparingly. I am not in the camp of wine is healthy for you or alcohol is healthy for you. I'm definitely not in that camp.
And that has a lot of sugar.
It has sugar, and there's just a lot of, alcohol is poison for our body. And so just because you can eat it and your body can tolerate it doesn't mean that you necessarily should.
I like that.
And so I personally, like, I've never been a big drinker. I've never really liked alcohol very much. But I don't drink a lot because it just doesn't sit well with even if I just have like a one glass of wine or something, like I just don't feel good afterwards. And so, and again, if you're somebody that's trying to lose weight or you feel gross all the time and your joints are like swollen and all that, alcohol should be out. Like,
nice.
Just get rid of it.
Nice. Alcohol and sugars are probably very big barriers for people.
Huge.
I would imagine.
Yes.
Yeah. And escaping. Like, what do I do when I just need that break?
Yep.
When I need that downtime?
I think Laura would say, go take a walk.
Well, and alcohol leads to other things, it lowers your inhibitions. And so you're drinking it and then you're like, I'm going to have those Cheez-Its or I'm going to have this chocolate. And you think, I'm just having a little bit, but actually, so it can be trouble because of that, I think too.
So Vacation Bible School is coming up. And how long have you been involved with that?
That's a great question. So I don't know. I've done it at St. Al's since I was a teenager, not consistently, but I've been on like the core team since Eliza was little. So probably for the last 10 years or something. Yeah. And I love it. I love Vacation Bible School. It's so much fun. You just like, if you are struggling with your faith at all, if you come and see these kids and how fired up they get and how happy and joyful they are, like it's impossible not to be like, oh, Jesus is like right here.
It is a blast. You guys have it nailed. It's the end of school and the summer meet. So there's this air of excitement of summer's beginning.
Vacations haven't really started.
But you guys, it's colorful. There's music. Yeah. You guys are nailing every moment of it. You bring in high school volunteers.
Yeah, high school, middle school.
Kind of like the younger but older kids and little kids love that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They think they're, they're jungle gyms during the week, but
Yeah.
they just think they're so cool. And they're
Sure.
like, I want to be like that person.
Yep.
Whatever. And so it is huge. And then the adults, we try to, have peppy, excited, not, curmudgeonly old people that are like, I don't do that.
They're going to do the dances.
Yeah, the dances. And my goal with Vacation Bible School every year is I do the faith station. And so my goal every year is I want these kids bringing this faith into the church with them. And I want the church to know, like, listen, these kids, this is our future. If we don't start now, like, these kids aren't going to be good Catholics. They're going to leave the church. And and so I'm always trying to find ways that we can bring them into the church and have the church help.
Well, and I think it's good to show them the fun side of church because they probably just go to mass.
Sure.
Or maybe RE.
Right.
Unless they're with Annie. No, I'm just kidding.
Yep.
And sometimes that can be boring.
Yeah.
So you can make it fun. Then they see that there's different sides of this.
Absolutely.
What's this summer's theme?
Sacraments.
Sacraments.
Mm-hmm. So we're doing all the sacraments, which is heavy.
Sacraments.
Well, and I love that there's Catholic VBSs now because
Yes.
when I did years ago, it was always the Protestant ones, which were good,
Right.
but it's nice
you
to
missed
have some of the Catholic themed ones.
Yeah, absolutely.
And are you guys doing music like you guys do? Like sometimes you'll have a CD.
Yep, they'll
thing?
have CDs this year.
my
I have not
gosh.
listened to the music yet,
So you'll
but
listen.
the dancing and then it plays in your car. Like, I will even find myself driving by myself in the Vacation Bible School. Music will be on, and I'll get somewhere and I'm like, I just listened to the whole thing before, and
Nice.
none of the kids are in the car. So.
You guys had a CD a couple years ago. Something about a roar,
Oh yes,
and that was the one
The
that we
Lion's
listened to.
Roar.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the one we listened to all the time, all summer long.
They do a good
love
job.
them. Yeah.
You do a good job.
And I always tell people, like, you don't have to be there for the whole week. I mean, just come for a day. I'm
Yeah,
telling you,
exactly.
like, if you are struggling at all with your faith, it is so fun to see, and
Mm.
it's
Do
a good time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they get little T-shirts.
They get T-shirts.
They all have to have
water bottles.
water bottles.
Um,
They're going to do crafts.
crafts. We've got a craft station during Faith Station. That we're doing experiments again, which the kids absolutely love. We're going to explode some stuff this year.
Oh yes,
Which
let's blow it
there's
up.
just Games will be outside, and those are super fun.
Food.
Yep, lots of food.
Sweet.
Snack, a little bit.
Well,
All
we
right.
appreciate all the time you give to the parish.
Thank you.
The Graefnitz do a lot.
Yes, we try.
I have to say that there was a moment that I saw you and your dad. It's just the two of you. I don't remember anymore now, Laura, if it was after a mass or after like the revival, but the church was all cleared out.
Holy Thursday Mass. It was after that.
I knew it was like, there was
Yeah.
like, it was something special. It was just the two of you guys sitting in the pew. Don't know what you were talking about. I could just tell it was a daddy-daughter moment. It was
Yeah.
really special to
Thank
see.
you. Yeah, my dad and I are really close.
I
And
bet.
the people in my family call me like little Mike, like I'm his successor, Mike's successor. And so they rip on my dad all the time. And I'm like, oh, that's me too. So my mom sent me a meme the other day that said, the music that plays in your head when you're about to be your father's daughter. And it was the Thunder song, like thunder.
No way.
Yeah. And it's just,
That's great.
yeah. So, but yeah, I lost a brother, when he was 21 to suicide. And, that's been hard for my parents. And I think as we were sitting there after Holy Thursday, my dad was talking about a dream that he had with Joe. And so it's just,
How long ago was that?
he died in 2016, March of 2016. So
Yeah.
That's incredible that your dad would share that story with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
My parents' faith going through that. I mean, their faith growing up was obviously instrumental in who I am and informing me, but their faith in going through that, both of them, losing a child, but then losing a child that way. And they had my two younger siblings were still at home at the time. And so having to raise children while you're going through grief, and the doubt that comes from a parent when
You always
lose a
blame
child that
yourself.
way. Yeah. I mean, I don't think it's however you lose a child, it's hard to not blame yourself, feeling like you could have done more or whatever. So,
Yeah,
Totally.
that's a traumatic thing for a family to go through.
Yeah.
To
My
even
goodness.
lose a child that way would be, I can't even imagine.
it was hard.
Well, we need more people like them, and we need more people like you in the world to keep us inspired. Thank you so much for all the stuff that you're doing
Yeah,
for the parish.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, our little operation.
I
Yeah,
love
we just are trying to find a way
We don't even
to,
know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I love it. I think
Well-
that's how you do it though, right? Like
Yeah.
you can't, that's what, when I
Just
started my
follow her.
business, that's how it was. Like you don't wait until you have everything perfect. You jump in and just the Holy Spirit guides you, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay,
That's kind of how it's been going. But
I just
love
follow
it.
her.
well, after the revival, it's something I've been wanting to do for a while because I feel like it's to emphasize a community. And I think sometimes we don't recognize how God works in our lives. So to hear other people's stories, I think can be inspiring. Plus it's a way to talk about what's happening in the community.
Yeah. There's always something happening in our community.
Gosh, right?
There's always something.
Yeah.
Such a good interview.
Yeah.
She was easy. She has a lot to say.
Yeah.
There's a lot to contribute. Vacation Bible School coming up. The energy is infectious. I will say that every time I go pick up Cecilia.
I mean, I ran Vacation Bible School for 8 years at my parish, and I was always glad when it was over, but it's a lot of fun. The kids get so into it and the teens get into it.
They're a little jazzed.
Yeah. And so it is fun to see how excited everyone is, and they're talking about Jesus. So it's a lot of fun, but then by the end of the week, you're pretty pooped out.
That's for sure. I'm sure.
But it's a lot of fun.
And I appreciated Laura's honesty. I appreciate how open she was. It's not easy to be like that, in front of a little camera or just in general. So I really appreciated her being so open. Yeah. That was great.
That was an awesome interview.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next time.
If you would like to hear more holy banter, please check out our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast.